It's nice having Zacubus in the chat. I quite enjoy it. It's really nice seeing like, old friends just kind of appear in the chat. It's happened a few times on a few of my streams now. I remember when Red Eye did it. That was interesting. Money is nice, but entertainment is gold. Well, listen, Bitcoin is the new gold. So really, you could, and Bitcoin's obviously the new money as well. So you could say that Bitcoin is everything. Hodling into an 80% correction isn't great. There haven't been any 80% corrections in a while now, though. And yes, this is why you diversify. This is why you diversify, because corrections will happen. And some cryptocurrencies will die. They will die. You will have money in them. They will die. They will stop being worth anything, effectively. It will happen. And it will make you very upset. So if you only own one cryptocurrency, you should definitely buy more. Diversify. I don't care if you've got $200 in cryptocurrency. You should split that $200 6 ways. You really should. Get your auger out, get your auger out. No. I feel like I might learn something that's really interesting. When do I plan to buy hashtag Lambo? Never. I do like Lambos look-wise, but they're not my kind of car. I would much rather go for something a little bit more toned down and a bit more geeky. So like one of my old favorite cars was the Ariel Atom. So like a tiny little British company that makes them, and it's basically just like a skeleton and an engine and some wheels. But it's really fun and like really low down. It's like a go-kart pretty much. So that's a really fun car. I always really like the Skylines, Nissan Skylines R34. That kind of the era of the Skyline. Um, but these days, I just like Teslas. Like I think if I become like a mega millionaire, then I'll just own one of every type of Tesla probably, and I'll be happy with that. I'm fine with that. I might even buy the truck. Why not? My brother can drive trucks. He can drive it around for me, or it could drive itself. Let's see. I've driven an Ariel Atom super quick. Yeah, they're nice cars. Oh yes, TVR. Nice. Very good choice. Hello, sir. Heard Verge XVG being mentioned on the site. Any opinions? Um, Not really, to be honest. I looked at Verge a few times, but it just doesn't seem to interest me. I like there's a few currencies like this which kind of hang around in the top 30 or so on CoinMarketCap, and every time I look at them, and every time I'm like, well, are you interesting? No, not really. And that's pretty much the end of our interaction. So to give you some examples of that, I mean, Tron is actually one of them. Like I look at it, I'm like, boring, can't be bothered. Um, you know, 8 shares, another one. Zcash is kind of another one. I mean, I understand Zcash a bit better, but I still have no idea why NXT is this high up. Vertcoin, why Veritasium is this high, I still have no idea. Let's just look at their website. Have they actually built a proper website yet, or are they still using complete junk? No, they're still using junk. It's slightly better than it used to be, but it's still junk. Looks like they've actually been developing stuff though, so that's good. It's nice to see like this big, massive thing. Terribly laid out page. Horrific. And wow, you can literally just email Reggie Middleton directly. That's kind of interesting. But yeah, no, not a fan of Veritasium. No idea why that's got so much value. What else is that? Digibyte. Why is that up there? You know, Bytecoin, Byteball bytes. Electronium shouldn't be that high. I'm gonna keep saying it. It's only just released its coin, so it's in the stage where most ICOs normally drop massively. So like if we go on any other ICO, okay, not that one. If we go on any other normal ICO, Okay, not that one. Well, kind of that one. Let's try status. Yeah, any normal ICO does this when it first starts, and that's exactly what Electronium is doing now. It's going to do this. So, not a good time to be buying in. I mean, not a good. It's just not worth buying in because it's a bad product. You know, they haven't built anything. Oh, someone subscribed to me. Why, thank you, Captain Einscheit. I just realised I swore because I pronounced it really badly. Oh dear. I apologise for butchering your name. Just got in. How much have I missed? 30 minutes? Yeah, about 30 minutes. I was a bit late. Hey Jay, on which device are you securing crypto bought for yourself? Best way to don't get hacked. Best way to don't get hacked is not to keep it on a computer, actually. But that's not what I do. I keep it on a computer because I trade it relatively often, and I'm at my computer every single day. It's still password protected. I still have backups of the keys. So, you know, I still feel pretty secure. I will probably start moving some of them offline next year, actually, because I don't need to trade with as much as I have on here. I could easily put like half of that into, you know, offline wallets, such as Trezor or Nano Ledger or just paper wallets. So that's probably what I'll do at some point. Get IOTA channel in your Discord. Okay. Chris is on it, aren't you, Chris? Thanks, Chris. Oh, I have another subscriber. Yay, more subscribers. I found like 3 days ago how much money I'm earning from Twitch, and it's a reasonable amount of money now. So thanks, subscribers. If eToro goes to shit, then at least I can, you know, still eat beans on toast. Possibly. Hey Jay, can you check eToro? Tagged you in a post. I can have a go, but your post has probably disappeared from my feed. Was it that one? Don't think it was. Your name's not Crimpit, but I'm going to read what this person said. Oh, comments. What? Da, 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 da. Bought and sold at the right time in Bitcoin, apparently. Okay. I'll take your word for it. I don't think I've done that well on Bitcoin. I've done okay on it. I've done okay on it. I really feel like selling Ethereum, but it just keeps going up, and I don't have that many positions, so I'm quite cautious. But I think EOS is like the Ethereum killer, and I've said that many, many times now. Oh, another subscriber. Why, thank you, Zeppy888. Very nice of you. I should make one of those things that appears and like says when people subscribe and stuff. But I'm lazy, so it probably will never happen. Hi, I invested 12,000 US dollars to you today. How long time before it's all invested? Roughly 3 months in total, but most of it will be invested within like a month. Because my crypto positions, you know, within a month, I've pretty much bought and sold all of those positions, which is 50% of my portfolio. And as you can see, like I do stocks reasonably actively. AMD is probably like this. AMD, Western Digital, some of the ones that are deep in red that I kind of refuse to get rid of are going to be there a bit longer. But even those, I cycle them so that I refresh it so that people like you do get to copy those positions over time. But realistically, you know, that's not too bad. There is now an IOTA channel. Congratulations. Actually split up the cryptos from stock/commodities. Yeah, probably worth doing at this point because we have a lot of crypto channels now. Oh, you made 2 news channels as well. That's cool. Man, so many questions. Oh, you've linked me to it. And it's opened in this tab. I'm going to move it over here. No, I'm not, because it doesn't like it. Oh, no, this browser doesn't let me do things like... Okay, it does, but it's, like, really buggy and horrible. It's not, like, super buggy. It's still better than Edge. We don't have an easy method to withdraw profits from you, other than stop, copy, and full. Remember when we discussed removing funds as a way to take profits? I messaged eToro and they said if you decide to remove funds from someone you are copying, it will only remove available balance, not the profit. So if the person that, I mean, yeah, that's not great. But I don't think there's really an easy way of them implementing something to fix it, to be honest. If you've got a suggestion, then go for it. I think pause copy is probably one of the best ways of doing it. Pause copy and then just take out some of the profits and then unpause it again. Not great, not ideal because you'll still miss positions. But I mean, to be fair, like uncopying and recopying isn't too bad. After you've made like, 25%, 30% profit, it's not too bad. But anyone who's thinking of like putting it out every month or so, I don't think that's worth doing. You're better off leaving it in for 3 months and then like putting it out in big wads once in a while, if that is your goal. Oh, I need to read this. Let me move it over here so you guys can see it. I haven't read this yet, but something overstock. So Patrick Byrne, who has been in Bitcoin since forever, about the same time as me. He got in 2013, I think. 2013, same time as the Winklevoss twins. And he's been massive on Bitcoin ever since. He's quite a strange guy, actually. Like he always wears like Japanese suits and stuff, which is odd for an American company. I guess he just likes Japan. But anyway, he's doing an ICO that is apparently $250 million capped. Don't know anything about it. Haven't read any of this yet. But I need to read it because that's interesting. It's a bit like Kim.com, who's been saying that he's going to do big things in Bitcoin for years and years and years, but has yet to do anything. I actually replied to a tweet the other day where someone wrote a news article about it. And I was just like, are you actually ever going to do anything? Because you've been talking about it forever. And, I'm all on team, let's do things with Bitcoin, but it'd be nice to actually do them instead of just talk about doing them. I am rich, lol. Just subscribed. Cool. I wonder if your name is Rich or if you're actually just rich. Or maybe both. Jay, please bring back the dreadlocks. I can't. I'm literally bald. I'm literally bald. It's hard to see. And it's hilarious because like on webcam it looks like I've just cut my hair really badly down the middle. But like genuinely this side, there's just no hair there. Like there's a few little hairs, but not much. So yeah, I would love to have my dreadlocks back, but I can't. I could rename every channel to Bcash. Jay would love it. I probably would. That would be quite funny. Maybe like April Fool's Day. We'll just rename every channel to Bcash, and you have to try and guess which channel is the one that you want to discuss things in. Let's see. What man? There's a lot of comments today. You guys are on it. Dreadlocks ICO. Oh, have you guys seen the website that I linked in Discord? Oh, where did I link it? That was great. There's like a website. Oh, what is it called? Yet another ICO.com or something like that. Let's try it. I think it's that. Yet another. Yes. Yet another ICO.com. Look at this. Let's generate some ICOs, boys. Oh, what are we going to get today? Buzzword, buzzword, buzzword. Cybersecurity based mining platform for self-driving cars. Amazing. I'm in. Let's do another one. So much fun. All of the fun is being had right now. First private ICO platform for VR. Don't want any of those public VR ones, do we? Oh, it's good. I'm enjoying this. I shouldn't be, but I am. Decentralized voice recognition technology for your dating opportunities. Oh, I love this. It's so good. Great website. Hours of fun. That's what it feels like now going on coinmarketcap.com. If you scroll like anything beyond the top 50, you're like, "Ooh, what will I get today?" I love how the generator gets above 100%. Yeah, it's great. It is great. IOTA on eToro anytime soon. Any new cryptos going on there? I imagine they will add cryptos when they can. The fact is that they are kind of similar to Coinbase in some ways, I guess. But, well, no, not really. They need to add cryptos that have got a lot of liquidity, which means they have to have a high market cap and they have to be traded in a lot of reputable places because those are the places where eToro will go and trade them on the backside for for us to actually be buying and selling real cryptocurrencies. So IOTA, not for a long time, because IOTA is currently on 2 exchanges and it's got loads of like wallet problems and stuff at the moment. It's a very complex cryptocurrency, still very early days. Don't expect it to be on there anytime soon. I think actually, interestingly, I think although Cardano is only on 2 exchanges at the moment, I think Cardano could find its way on there more quickly because they've got a very, very solid wallet. A lot of people seem to love their wallet. So yeah, I think Cardano could be one that gets added. But realistically, you're looking at stuff like Monero probably as the next in line. Things like that. A little bit further down the list, but really stable long-term coins. Possibly some ERC20 tokens. So I think NEM is one that should be on there pretty soon. I think Monero should be on there quite soon. Wouldn't surprise me to see Neo go on there. Lisk. There's a few. There's a few that could find their way on there. What are you thinking about BTC? And do you know something about new cryptos in eToro? I just answered that question, so no. What is my thinking about BTC? I don't know. I don't. Honestly, I don't think about Bitcoin that much anymore. Not much going on at the moment. It's quite quiet. Everyone's just working on slowly introducing SegWit, including Coinbase, who again refused to say when they were adding it. Someone asked them this in the same CNBC interview that I mentioned earlier. Yeah, someone asked them like, when are you introducing SegWit transactions? And they said, oh, we've got our team of engineers working on it, and we've been working on it for some time, and it's not an easy thing to implement. And yeah, in my head, I'm like, yes, it is, because there are some websites that have literally like one person working for them that have implemented SegWit transactions. So there really isn't that big of an excuse. I understand you want to make it look pretty, you want to make it easy, you want to make it seamless. You're at a much bigger scale than everyone else. You have to be a lot safer, all the rest of it. But realistically, it shouldn't take as long as it is. SegWit 2x hard fork coming up again. Why? 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 Where would you buy Golem? They don't seem to have it on Binance. Then probably Bittrex or somewhere else. Where do you keep finding these balls? He had a green ball earlier, and now he's got a red ball. He's like sprinting. He's so hyperactive today. He's just mental. My cat's lost the plot. I should install like a cat webcam for my future streams. What do I think about what Peter Webb said about Bitcoin? Oh, I hope it's like the last one we did on my stream, where I just raged. Oh.
And we've got something really interesting going on in the financial market.
Who
world,
are you?
Which is
Angel
Bitcoin.
TV.
And I thought it'd be interesting to discuss that, whether you should be trading Bitcoin, how that links into
It's very well spoken.
several elements of trading.
This is a very long video. Can we like skip to the bit that you want to talk about? Find the timestamp and then I can skip to it. But for now, I'm just going to leave it open because I don't want to watch 17 minutes of this guy. Jay, please answer. How do you diversify all of your wealth? Are they like 50% in 50 in cryptos, 50% in stocks, or question mark? Thanks. Appreciate your answer. Oh my, Tash, shut up. I know you've got a ball in your mouth. He's holding a ball in his mouth while attacking something else. Brilliant. My wealth is quite poorly distributed currently because cryptocurrencies have gone up in value so much. So like 70 or 80% of my money, even like looking at the house that I have above my head, is still in cryptocurrency at the moment, which is bad. But that is also kind of the point of my second eToro account. My second eToro account is where I'm starting to diversify, and I'm adding more and more to it every month. So, whereas I'm not adding more to cryptocurrency, it's just that cryptocurrency keeps going up in value. But realistically, I've already taken out what I invested because what I invested was like, £5,000 or something like that. So, yeah, it's just how it is at the moment. I'm trying to diversify, but it's like at the same time, I don't really want to sell my cryptos that much. Sometimes I trade bits of it in. I think when I buy a new house, I'll probably sell like a quarter of my cryptocurrency or something. Is the jaynemesis_3 account also mine. Yes, it is. The jaynemesis_3 account is purely for eToro to send payments to. That's it. So it's not going to do anything. So there's no point in following it or copying it because it will literally never do anything. So sorry to disappoint you. The only accounts I'll actually be using is my main one and jaynemesis_2. Did 5:30 on the video. 5:30. Okay.
True currency in an exchange of value, then people would be using it. And the fact is, people did advertise that they would accept bitcoins, but it's all gone a bit crazy. Because if you do an exchange of value, it has to be stable. So going back years ago, and again, we're not going to elaborate too much on this, but you used to barter. So you sort of say, oh, I need a cow. Can I, how many sheep's for your cow? And eventually the problem was carting around loads of sheep to do that was a bit of a problem. So they invented currency, effectively, an exchange of value. And typically that would be precious metal. But then what happened was that people would get mugged on the way to market, get liberated of their precious metal, and then there was a bit of a problem. And that's how banks were created, because you deposit
He explains
the
it
money
quite well.
with a banker. It was effectively a warehousing scheme. You would have a warehouse somewhere, you'd deposit your money with them.
So, without going any further, I imagine that that's basically his argument. His argument is that, well, the value doesn't stay the same, so why would anyone use it as a currency? He's right. Bitcoin's not a currency, it's a commodity. Done. That's it. That's the end of it. It's a commodity that's really easy to use and move around. At the same time, though, although it's not a currency right now, it can be in the future. It's not a currency right now because we've got an influx of money going into it from other currencies because it's performing better than every other currency. It's as simple as that.
Write you a
Oh,
little
keep
note.
watching. Okay.
So one of my hobbies is collecting all of the sort of memorabilia. So I've got a collection of promissory notes, basically, from many, many years ago,
That's
which
quite
predate
cool.
Cash.
That's pretty cool.
And that's just part of my
I mean,
journey
that's a
of
cool. It's
understanding
like kind of
everything.
sad, but also kind of cool.
And they would write you a promissory note, which you would then hand to the merchant, who would then go to the bank and then get his gold out of the bank if he required it. Now, that system evolved into the fractional reserve system. Again, I'm not going to go into great depth about fractional reserve banking.
Not a big fan of it.
But that eventually evolved to what we have here, and eventually we broke the gold standard. So it was no longer linked to precious metal.
Correct.
But again, that's a whole different discussion. But that's where Bitcoin came around, because Bitcoin is an alternative to that, effectively. Or it should be, but nobody accepts it. So there was a great article, I think it was in Bloomberg or the Wall Street Journal, where they did an analysis on companies that did accept Bitcoin or said they accepted it, and whether they accepted it now. And they're all vanishing, basically, because the currency is too volatile. If you have an exchange of value, you really need...
Wrong. That's not why they're vanishing. It's not because the value is too volatile, because most of them are actually using BitPay. So he's got that entirely wrong. Most of them are actually settling in US dollars. The reason that they stopped using it is because people stopped using it. And the reason people stopped using it is because the fees were too high. The same reason that when me and Liam both bought our Bitcoin jumpers, we both paid in Litecoin, not Bitcoin. So like he's kind of right, but at the same time he's kind of wrong on bits of it.
Need to know what that value is to make it worthwhile. And the fact is that Bitcoin's doing this. So it's like, yes, I can sell you that car, but it may be 50% more or less in 2 days' time. So you then price that in, and therefore it becomes pointless. And the example of the article that I read was that you could buy the pizza for $7, or you'd pay somewhere near $50 if you use Bitcoin, because the value was changing around all over the place. Google the Weimar Republic in Germany to see what happens when money loses its value or changes rapidly in price, and that can come through.
But again, I think he's missing the point. I don't think Bitcoin is a currency. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Bitcoin is not a currency, it's a commodity. If you want a currency, use something like PIVX. PIVX has got a built-in 1% inflation rate forever, which means the same as basically traditional currencies, which is a great way of slowly transitioning. But realistically, we're going to have this problem on currencies for the next cryptocurrencies for the next few years because there's just so much money moving in. Imagine if overnight the UK created a new currency and decided to use it here, and everyone had to buy it to get some. There was no other way of getting it. You had to buy it. It wasn't distributed to people. You had to buy it. You'd have exactly the same problem. The currency would be going up in value. It would be going up and down loads as people trying to trade it while it's doing that over the course of a few years. It's the same problem. But that doesn't mean that it's not going to work in the future as a currency.
a number of different ways, either printing too much money in inflation, or the fact that
He
there
also
are other issues
$12.
in there. Again, I'm not going
Whoa.
to discuss it in great depth. So what is actually going on with Bitcoin, and how can we parallel it and learn from what we're seeing within the market? Well, first, the reason for going into this discussion about the exchange of value is essentially that's what underpins everything. If I buy a company, it pays me.
I'm interested to see what he proposes as an alternative, or like if he thinks buy Bitcoin, you know it's only going up. I wonder what's like the point of this
Dividend,
video.
so I can value it.
Like he's
If
making loads of really
go out
good
and get
points.
some
But
trees, I can burn them or build a house. You know, there's value within that, and that has some economic value. But the interesting thing about Bitcoin is it actually doesn't have any economic value beyond exchanging it with somebody else. And there are very few exchanges going on of significant quantity. But what has happened is it's caught people's imagination. People investing, speculating on Bitcoin, the price is going up, and as a consequence, the fact that people are willing to pay that to exchange a Bitcoin means that people who have Bitcoins are reluctant to exchange them. So we've got two elements going on within the market. We've got what I call the FOMO factor, the fear of missing out. You know, Bitcoin was almost worthless not so long ago. Then it was worth $200, then $1,000, then $10,000. Will it reach 100,000? It wouldn't surprise me if it did do that. So if you know that the price is going up, suddenly the emotion is that you need to get involved, because you looked at it at $500 and you looked at it at 1,000, you thought, no, I'm not getting involved, and now it's 10, and you're thinking, what an idiot. I better do it now before it gets to 50,000. So the FOMO factor is a big driver. It's an emotional factor within a market.
what's his point? Bit mad. What's his point? I'm confused as to what his point is. Is Kitty Spank by chance a fan of Bitcoin Cash? Because I feel like they might be. He gets there. Okay.
It's the same as...
When does he get there? Because like, there's another like 8 minutes of this. Commodity usually has a purpose. It can be used to make something. Yeah, Bitcoin has a purpose. It can't be seized, and it's a store of value. Same as gold. Look at gold. That argument is entirely valid in a world in which gold is not priced at what it's currently priced at. Because over 90% of gold's value comes purely from the fact that it is a store of value. That's the real issue here, is that, like, I agree. Like, it shouldn't be priced at that in a sensible world, but we don't live in a sensible world. We live in a world where gold is valued at extremely high prices. Copper, precious metals in general, like, they are valued much higher than what their use case is for the most part. Not all of them. Silver has got loads of use cases. So does copper, actually. They're kind of bad examples, but gold especially, is used for very, very little, really. When you compare it to other metals, there are other metals that do like the different traits of gold better than gold does, except for how easy it is to counterfeit, pretty much, and and how easy it is to find and produce, and that's why gold is such a big store of value. Yeah, gold's used in electronics, but Bitcoin is used for moving money across the world without anyone being able to stop you from doing it. Even if it costs $100 to do so, even at these inflated transaction fees, which realistically should get fixed over time, even at these fees, it still has immense value to people. The fact that you can move money from here to North Korea, in 10 minutes for $100, and you could move, 20 million or something, that is insane, and no one can stop you. That is insane. That's why it has value. It's as simple as that. That, and of course it was the first, so it's become the reserve currency for all of the actual cryptocurrencies which really do have utility and do have value. Things like Augur and Golem and Siacoin. That's my opinion on it. Bitcoin is the reserve currency, and if Bitcoin goes down, so does everything else. That's what I think about.
If you see a favourite being backed, that's...
Oh, is he talking about the line of fools? You're always selling it to the greater fool, always trying to find the greater fool. It's a bubble.
Form, but it's from a good yard, and you see the money coming for it, then people are tempted to back it, which then other people back it. And seeing other people backing it, other people back it because it's being backed by other people that backed it when it was being backed. And the whole thing trundles forward from there. So you're effectively seeing the same thing but on Bitcoin. But of course, on a horse, you've got down to 101 certainty that will win the race, and it probably will never get there. But there is no upper limit on Bitcoin. There's no way of sensibly valuing it or making a sensible judgment on value. So it could go astronomical. During the dot-com boom, a friend of mine had a website, and he got it listed on
What a cool
AIM.
friend.
And on the day it listed on AIM, it was worth £150 million. Now the fact is, it was never worth that because it was generating no revenue. And the fact is, a year later, when it still wasn't generating significant amounts of revenue, the market had revalued it to about 5 million. And I've no idea how much it's worth now, or even if it's still listed. But that tells you that very often the market reaches the point where people are just willing to pay whatever it is, and that's what they call the greater fool theory. It's like, well, I'll buy it because it's going to go up and I can sell it to somebody else. And that's great while the price is going up, but eventually that stops and it goes down.
And that's why I didn't buy Ripple.
In the other direction. I've seen it with mining, biotech, a whole range of different types of industries and technologies. But when the price goes...
Yeah, effectively I agree with what you just said, which is that, this is how fiat currencies work. This is actually how fiat currencies work. Because people believe that other people will accept it. That's it. That's why it works. And sure, people are buying it because it's going up at the moment, but there are plenty of people who are buying it just because it's going up compared to their currency. Like, you have to look at the different currencies. Over time, Bitcoin should calm down, or probably not, be going up by such huge amounts as it has been, for example, this year. But if you look at it in comparison with Venezuela, in fact, if you just look at the US dollar in comparison with Venezuela, the US dollar is going up by the same percentage against the Venezuelan currency as Bitcoin is against the US dollar. So which one is the US dollar a bubble for people living in Venezuela? No, it's just a safe store of value. Is Bitcoin a bubble, or is it just a safe store of value for the people in the US? It's the same thing. It all really depends on what you're measuring it up against. If you measure Bitcoin against Ethereum or Dash, is Bitcoin a bubble? No, it's going up at about the same sort of rate. Like, realistically, they're overtaking at different points in time. It just goes to what Bitcoin really does is show how badly inflation in other currencies affects the value of those currencies. Like, yes, it is massively accelerated because there are more and more people getting into it because it's still so early. There's only, 500,000 or so people in Bitcoin. Whereas, the British pound is owned by some 60 million people or whatever, probably more. But you get the point, right? When that phase stops, when we hit the point where everyone has some, Bitcoin still performs better than everything else. Loving this argument. Keep going. It's great to compare opinions. When will Fiat die? Fiat will die sooner than people think it will. You've already seen the early movers, or the people that want to be early movers. Estonia, Iceland, Venezuela, Russia. Most of these countries are going to fail. Most of the first attempts are going to fail. Most of the second attempts are going to fail. But the fact that people have started discussing it now as a real option is all the evidence you need to know that Fiat will die at some point in its current way of existing. Because again, it just doesn't perform as well as these currencies. Simple as that. Talk about Roblox. I'll talk about Roblox quickly. Roblox basically is Hashgraph, but not shit. It's I still haven't done like full analysis on it. I looked at their white paper. It's reasonably technical, but it's also reasonably short. But I still haven't read it all. Anyone who knows me will know that I'm like the slowest reader on the planet. So to the point where actually I even started using the feature in Edge where it reads for you because I can take in the information slightly quicker that way. But Roblox is a cryptocurrency that supposedly has fixed a lot of scaling issues via using a DAG again, basically, of blockchains that are all working in parallel, transferring information between them. Very similar to Hashgraph. Uh, so that's it really. It's another attempt at scaling a cryptocurrency. So uh, maybe worth putting a bit of money in, not lots. Still pretty early days. It's not on very many exchanges yet, but it looks interesting. Looks interesting. Talk about mega blocks. Well, I could talk about that all day. Iceland just moved their currency into EVE Online. I mean, like we've already seen a lot of successful microeconomies on cryptocurrency, and increasingly we're seeing it as a more common style of ICO as well, where people aren't using an ICO like a share or something that pays a dividend like Binance, for example, but they're using it more like a currency for an ecosystem. So Spank Chain, which as you can probably guess is used in the porn industry, is a good example of this. Spank Chain is, advertised as something that is wholeheartedly geared towards the pornography industry, and uh, the reason that it's so popular there is because currently porn websites take massive cuts for donations to streamers. Advertise only the top few websites earn lots of money from ad revenue, and you can't split it down to the actors and actresses that are in those videos. Um, people want more anonymity when they're spending money on those kind of things. They don't want their wife to know, or whatever, their bank to know, things like that. And so they've built a cryptocurrency designed specifically for that industry, and it should, in theory, do quite well. And I agree with that. I think it's a reasonable idea. But the funny thing is, like you guys laugh about it, but it's attracted some really good developers. It's got some great developers working on that project. It's better than there are on most of the other top 50 coins. So so as much as it sounds like a crazy idea, it makes a lot of sense. And I think this is the way that we're going to see cryptocurrencies going, where you do end up with cryptocurrencies for different industries. And the reason for that is that those just by holding those cryptocurrencies instead of holding US dollars, you're effectively contributing to that economy. You're contributing to it. So you would hold currencies for things that you care about. If you care about motorsports, you'll hold the motorsport cryptocurrency. And if you care about esports, you'll hold the esports one. And if you care about I don't know, uh, farming, you'll have the farming based one. And all of them will be slightly different in terms of how they work, geared towards helping those economies the most. Um, and it sounds really weird, but I feel like that's the direction we're moving in. Actresses, I thought it was real. Oh, Thomas, you did tune in at a great time. Bitcoin. That's pretty good. Is there an esports currency? There are lots of attempts at it, but none of them are good. And I say there's lots of attempts at it. No, there's not really even attempts at it, to be honest. They kind of are, but not really very good ones. A cake cryptocurrency for the win. Baker coin. Um, yeah, what happened here? So yes, that's my thoughts on like where the economies of these things are moving. Like you will, if you are someone that is really passionate about something, like whatever your hobby happens to be or whatever, then you will happily hold your money, more of your money in that because you are interacting in that ecosystem on a regular basis. So it's inconvenient for you to exchange it back to something that makes you maybe a tiny amount more money each year, and then exchange it back whenever you want to spend money. Instead, you'll just keep money in the things that you spend money in often. So if you're a gamer, you'll keep a lot of money in cryptocurrencies associated with gaming. And if you're someone that does knitting, you'll keep some cryptocurrency aside for the knitting industry. Like it sounds insane, but that's probably how it'll go. And eventually they'll probably merge more and more and more. But for now, I think it's too difficult to build one that can work with all of these different systems. So you'll have to have different currencies for different situations because they require different levels of security and different, like some of them will require really low transaction fees and some of them won't. So yeah. This is way more interesting than you thought of. Okay, good. It varies. Sometimes we just like fall into pure lunacy and nothing happens all stream. My cat is still going mental. It's like just been running around for like 2 hours now straight. It's insane. Glad that he's having fun though. Can I have an Exodus wallet up and running straight away? Been trying to get Coinbase account set up for over 2 weeks now, and it's stopping me from being able to get valuable altcoins. It depends what you're trying to do. So if you don't own any cryptocurrency yet, then you still need to go through an exchange because Exodus isn't an exchange with fiat. So you can't move pounds or dollars directly into Exodus. You can move Bitcoin into Exodus. You can use Ethereum in Exodus and these kind of things, but not that. If you want to know how to set up Exodus, then watch Thomas 37000's YouTube video. He's got a YouTube channel called Social Trading. He just made some videos about setting up a wallet on Exodus. He also made videos about how to use Coinbase, like super noob friendly. So if you're just like trying to buy cryptocurrencies, then go check his videos. Is what I genuinely recommend. Thoughts on Exodus Eden? I'm not going to use it because it's quite clearly labeled as beta, and I don't want to put hundreds of thousands potentially. Damn it! I've just given away how much money I've got. Of dollars into a wallet that is not, more open source and not fully tested effectively. Now you can show us. No, because you don't know how many hundreds of thousands. It could just be 100,000 exposed. Oh dear. Yes, hundreds of thousands of IOTA. Hundreds of millions of IOTA, maybe. Because that's just what one M-IOTA is. A million IOTA. Why the plural then? Damn it. They're on to me. Quick, close the stream. Again, like it really depends what you want to use your wallet for. If you are buy and hold, you don't plan on using that cryptocurrency for anything, not using it for trading, not using it to buy or sell things with, not using it to play around with the technology, then use a paper wallet, or use a Trezor, or use something like that, especially if it's a lot of money. And make backups and take all the usual precautions. There's lots and lots of guides on YouTube for how to do these kind of things. If you're using your currency actively, then I think that Exodus is one of the best wallets out there. Jax is also very good. Keeping money on exchanges is risky. You can do it with a reasonable amount of money, but you don't want to do it with too much money. The tax man, hundreds of thousands, huh? That's how I imagine the tax man speaks. His YouTube is youtube.com/c/social trading vlog, I think. Might not have a C in it. The C stands for channel, I think. What about introducing toilet breaks? So we all have a 5-minute toilet break so that everyone can go to the toilet at the same time and not miss any content. No, this is like a cinema. If you need the toilet, you're going to miss part of the film. That's how it works. Unless I need the toilet too, in which case, you know. The main thing that cryptos solve is trust. Correct. Correct. And that is why there are so many cool projects going on. So many cool projects. It's it's super awesome using it just for money, but using it for buying and selling a house would be amazing. And there are people working on it. They're doing trials over in Sweden. There's a few different cryptocurrencies that are doing it. NEM has done some experimentation on this before. Malaysian government has done experimentation on this kind of thing before. Buying and selling a house at the moment is a pain in the ass, an absolute pain in the ass. You have to bring in so many parties and you have to get everyone to agree, and you have to like send a letter. You have to ask your lawyer to send a letter to their lawyer to send a letter to them to say, yes, I agree to the sale. And then they do the same thing back. And the whole thing takes forever. And the reason why it takes forever is because you just can't trust the other person. Like you have to get everyone to do, you have to have these intermediaries in the lawyers, and you have to have two sets of lawyers because you have to have your own one each because they're looking out for your interests. And the whole thing is mental. You could just build it with a smart contract, and you could buy and sell houses within a day, not 2 months. And that will just be amazing when that happens. And there's obviously loads of other applications as well. Loans, going into a bank and trying to set up a bank account. I did it the other day because I set up a new bank account so that I could keep it separate from my normal spending for all of my stuff were related to eToro and my work, my self-employed job, right? And the number of questions you have to answer is just insane. I was in there for 45 minutes. And like, there's just no need for that. Because if you have a trusted system, then you don't need to give your name. You don't need to give like, where do you earn all of your money from? And, what other bank accounts do you have? And all of these stupid questions that actually aren't even important at the end of the day. They're just asking it because they're nosy and it helps them in their business model specifically. Um, and And it's because they don't trust you. That's inherently what it's all about. It's because they don't trust you. They want to know where your money is, how much you're earning, how much you're spending, because they don't trust that if they lend you any money, that you're going to be able to repay it. And if you do it with a smart contract, you're sorted. And that's where salt is going to come in. There's like too many cool things to talk about. There's also loads of really stupid things like, like Spank Chain. Like there's loads of these little things that on the surface of it just look like a stupid gimmick, but in reality they have real world effects and real world use cases, and they solve problems. you know even things like buying stuff off eBay, there is inherently trust involved. And currently we have eBay in the middle to decide who's wrong and who's right whenever there's a dispute, but you could easily replace that with a cryptocurrency. Slash end rant. Quickest way to buy IOTA. Do I have an invitation code for Bitfinex? I don't know. Maybe. Where did they send them? Where did they keep them? I can have a look, but I'm not going to do it now because you'll see how much money I've got on Bitfinex and my password and my account and everything like that. Well, you wouldn't see my password, but you'd see how many characters it is, and that's a useful clue. Opinions on useless Ethereum token receiving over 150k of ETH. Welcome to cryptocurrencies, where lots of people made lots of money and then they decide to donate their money to things that are funny, regardless of if it has any use. I find it very unsurprising. Interestingly, Patch UK21, I found his videos when I first joined the Popular Investor Program, because I didn't trust it and I didn't know what it was, so I just searched eToro on YouTube, and his was one of the first videos I found. And then I just subscribed because it was kind of interesting. And then he started copying me. The circle of eToro life. Is my password or password123? No. Also, pineapple fruit bag. Did you create the pineapple fund? Because now I'm starting to wonder. You've got pineapple in your name. Could be you. Are you secretly a billionaire? You should only copy open trades if you want to take more risk. Realistically, copying new trades is a much safer way of investing. What is the name of my cat? My cat is called Tassadar. I have another cat as well called Zagara. They are both named after characters from StarCraft. Double exposed. Password Tassadar. How dare you? Now I know what what you're doing this for. Where was I born? Do I know something about ClearPoll? That's the polling one, right? That looks like a really interesting project when I found it before. But I haven't read the white paper. All I've done is browse the website. Let's see if it is the one I think it is. I think it is. I'm pretty sure it is. Let's go to the website. So this is one of the other use cases that I think cryptocurrencies is going to have, which is polling the public and voting systems. Yeah, social public opinion polls on the blockchain. Yeah, this is like super, super, super cool. I really like this. But I haven't checked how it works or anything like that. I mean, it's not something I'd probably invest in because realistically, how much value is something like this going to have? But it's a really cool use case. Really cool use case. I'm still looking for someone to build like proper like election systems and voting systems. That would be really, really cool. But 6-pool rush. Yes, I used to play StarCraft. It's all about the 4-pool. 6-pool was really uncommon. 4-pools and 5-pools. I guess 6-pool on StarCraft 2. Sorry, my bad. My bad. Yeah, I mean, I haven't really looked at it, but I really like the idea of it. This is a really cool idea. Yeah, 6-pool StarCraft 2. Yep. Pro gamer, by the way. Can't be that pro because you didn't play StarCraft 1, clearly, did you? Unlike me. I have StarCraft installed. We should do like a massive like pub stomp game or some like fun mini games. I'm a big fan of some of the tower defense stuff now that I'm a noob. Will there be much of an opportunity to make money out of buying and holding Bitcoin after the max number of coins has been created? Is now still the right time to try and make profit using Bitcoin's growth? In theory, the profit should accelerate, but it really depends how quickly it's adopted by the public. I still think that now is a great time to get into Bitcoin. I wouldn't put all of your money into Bitcoin, definitely, or even all of what you want to put into cryptocurrency. Like if you're putting money into the crypto space, then I would diversify it across at least 4 or 5 different cryptocurrencies. But Bitcoin should definitely be one of them, and it should probably be the main one. Waiting for Warcraft 4. Spellforce 3 just came out, and that kind of looks a bit like Warcraft in terms of how it plays. I haven't really looked at it properly, but it looks kind of cool. Age of Empires 2, classic. Yep, guaranteed classic. And yes, it will be a very long time before the coins are minted. Cryptocurrency is a bubble. Cryptocurrency overall is a bubble, correct. Good cryptocurrencies are not currently in a bubble. Does rallying EOS now is a good idea? What? I assume that means is investing in EOS now that it's rallying a good idea? It's still worth owning a bit. Keep some on the side for when it inevitably stops and consolidates, and then buy some. But it's always better to just buy a little bit, just a little bit, 10% of what you want to buy. Just throw in a cheeky 10%, and if that 10% goes down to 1% and then you buy the remaining 90%, how unhappy are you really going to be? Not that unhappy. Whereas if it continues going up and you manage to put that 10% in, you're going to feel a lot better. No, where's Thomas going? Damn it, Thomas, it's not the same without you. Major problem cashing out a large amount of Bitcoin. Depends how big you're talking. Realistically, you can. I mean, it also depends in what terms you're speaking about. Like, where do you see the problem as being? Do you see the problem being that it will crash the market? Do you see the problem being that your bank will ask you lots of questions? Like that's the real question. Cashing out 20 Bitcoins plus, I would probably split that into at least like 4 separate trades. Just to kind of, be safe. But realistically, that shouldn't be a problem because 20 Bitcoins is like $500,000 or something. It's still a lot of money, but it's not enough to impact the market. I would still do it in multiple things just because you don't know what your bank's going to be like. Wait until at least do it with like 10% first just to test it's going to work, or 1% just to make sure that it's going to work and your bank's not going to kick off. Maybe tell your bank in advance even if that's what your concern is, which is where my concern would probably be actually at this point. Exchange wise, again, like do it bit by bit because you don't want to put that much money onto an exchange, especially if that's all the money you have. I've not done it yet. I've not taken a substantial amount of money out of cryptocurrency. In fact, I've never sold any cryptocurrency. I've only bought stuff with it. In their normal wallets or on the exchange. And yes, declare your gains because you're just going to end up in a world of hurt if you don't, probably. You've made plenty of money. You can afford to spend 20% or whatever it is in your country to stay on the side of the law and actually enjoy the money. How many hours do I spend a day trading? I actually only spend like 2 hours of maybe 2 or 3 hours trading a day. But I spend like 5 hours doing stuff on the website, like on eToro or streaming on Twitch, for example, like this, or doing research, probably even more than 5 hours, or like 5 to 10 hours. It really depends on the day. Sometimes I'm just reading all day and it gets really boring, so I stop and then play games. I say boring. It doesn't get boring, it's just that I struggle to focus. Sorry about that yawn. Overstock. Yeah, I mean, you can do. Like, there's like I actually think that one of the best ways to cash out of cryptocurrency is to just spend it because it really does reinforce the point that you can spend it. Struggling to focus, 30 million AUM. Struggling to focus when I'm reading technical white papers. I should clarify. Like focusing on trading is pretty easy. But like reading through complex new stuff that's like new technology and things like that is you can't do it for more than like 2 or 3 hours before your brain starts melting. I do not play World of Warcraft. Play the end of the video. He talks about Nvidia. Ooh.
Goes skyrocketing, everybody buys into it with the basis that they'll be able to sell it.
Who is this guy, by the way? Bit mad. Who is this guy? Is he just like a random trader? Why is his name Bet Angel? Why does he do
higher
betting?
Price until that stops.
What's he betting
and then it goes completely catastrophically into freefall because then nobody will be willing to buy them off of you. On the way up, nobody wants to sell, and on the way down, nobody wants to buy. So the extremities tend to be pretty severe, but typically you can tend to find that as volatility increases, that gets you more and more certain that what you're seeing is it's purely greed and fear.
It's not getting more volatile though. It's getting less volatile.
So you have people wanting to hold it because they think it's worth a higher value, but you also have the other side of the coin, and that people fear missing out. And you see the same in every market. So I can guarantee you, I can't tell you what price it will be or when, but I can guarantee you that it will exceed its true intrinsic value at some point, because it happens in every market. That favourite that's being backed in and backed in and backed in, but has no form, will end up getting backed in too short. But from a trading perspective, of course, if you nip in and out, you can grab some of that value on the way down. The worst thing you can do in any market that's speculative is be the one left holding the baby at the end. If the price on Bitcoin goes to $250,000 and you're the one that buys it at $250,000 and then the market collapses, you're the one that's going to be holding the loss. So yeah, you know, you may want to trade it, but holding it I think is potentially quite risky. And when I was talking to friends in the industry, because I came from the technology industry, about Bitcoin ages ago, I've got a couple of friends who are quite senior now, and they're working on related areas within it, such as blockchain type technologies. And you know, you chit chat to everybody, you gradually form an opinion, you understand
Chit chat. This guy is like quintessentially British. I like him.
things from going on there. But one of the weird upshots of, you know, because I thought, do I buy Bitcoin? Well, I can't value it, and it's key to me is that if I ever invest anything, I need to understand what the value is. What is the yield? And
No hodling, this guy. Oh, Tyriel, please never leave my chat ever. Like, you have to be here for every stream because it just wouldn't be the same without you. Like, it genuinely wouldn't. More interested in his PC setup. It's not as good as mine. Quite messy cables as well. Although his monitors are very nicely lined up.
Bitcoin yields nothing apart from the ability to sell it to somebody else at a higher price. But a few years ago, I actually was invited by this company to go to Cannes in France.
Why do
for
you
a
have a
conference.
CD anymore? What is wrong with you? Nobody has CDs anymore.
And this was the opportunity that I found with Bitcoin, or that I think is the biggest opportunity, or has been the biggest tangible opportunity, is that when you mine a Bitcoin, again, I'm not going to describe the process behind that, you have to put a lot of investment into IT technology to be able to do that. And as a consequence, when you're actively pursuing the ability to mine a Bitcoin, it involves a lot of resources. So I just had a thought about it and wondered who's going to be the benefactor from that. And in fact, I came up with the conclusion that it was NVIDIA.
Wrong. It's AMD. Well, currently it's AMD. In reality, it's both. But in reality, also, it's neither of them because ASICs exist now. First of all, so there is competition that they have to compete with. And second of all, proof of work is dying. There will be 2 or 3 proof of work currencies left in the world. And proof of stake will take over for the most part. So most of the value will be earned through proof of stake, not through proof of work. Update your
Because
drivers.
NVIDIA produce high-end graphics cards, and met up with a friend of mine that used to work there years ago, doesn't work there now. We talked about it, and then I started digging around to look at all of the stuff related to NVIDIA. And sure enough, demand is absolutely booming for them at the moment, because people, you know, part of it will be the gaming industry, part of it will be PC and other related industries, but obviously Bitcoin is going to be having a big
Part of the people buying graphics cards to put in their PCs is the the PC industry. There's some people buying them to plug into their toasters. The toaster industry is also buying graphics cards. Sorry, couldn't resist.
impact on that. So if you look at the graph of NVIDIA and see how their stock prices perform.
Difference between proof of work and proof of stake. Proof of stake is basically almost like a deposit-based system where you put up some money and you start earning interest on that money for securing the network. And if you don't secure in the network, then you don't get your interest. So it's not in your interest to do that. Whereas proof of work requires you to effectively compete with other people in crunching numbers, and the first person to crunch numbers wins, and they get to validate the transactions. Simple as that, really. That's like the easy version. But yeah, basically, proof of work is very inefficient in terms of like resources and what it uses. We discussed this earlier on the stream, so if you weren't tuned in earlier, then you can rewatch this on YouTube once I've re-uploaded it, or on Twitch. But yeah, basically, proof of stake is the future because it's so much more decentralized. It's so much cheaper and more efficient.
And you look at the price of Bitcoin, you'll see that
Talkie toaster
they're
from
similar.
Withdraw.
But of course, with
I love that
Nvidia,
toaster.
you can do traded
Do you want some toast? Can I interest you in some toast?
options. You can go long and short. You can do all manner of things at relatively tight spreads, and there is an underlying value within there that you can make a reasonable judgment on. So I think looking beyond that top level, that's probably where some of the best plays are within this particular market. But even they will probably get overvalued at some point as people start to understand that there is an opportunity there. But I think the whole Bitcoin cryptocurrency thing is very interesting because it shows in very clear light all of the emotions of trading and the fear, the greed, all of the things I've talked about in some of the other psychology videos. You can see right there now. And what you're tending to find now is more and more people are getting sucked in, which is exactly what you need to push that price up. But eventually it will just go pop, and it will start to go. I can't tell you when that is, but I can tell you that that is almost certainly going to happen. And you sort of know that we're getting nearer to that phase when people start, who previously did betting or gaming, gambling systems or some other, binary options or whatever, they're all now selling Bitcoin trading systems or Bitcoin syndicates or multi-level marketing things related to Bitcoin and so on and so forth. So you can see that we're reaching that particular stage in the market. In the hype cycle, it will go something like this, where technology is not known and people are investing and not making much money. Then the hype cycle comes in, kicks up here, then it blows off, and then it's at the bottom there that all of the big winners tend to come out of the cycle. So I can give you a great example of this from my own career. I joined an internet service provider in 1996 and they ran out of money in 1999, 1 year before the dot-com boom. If I would have been around and hung around for a little bit longer, I could have ridden that wave. But as it was, I was looking for a job at that particular point. So
sounds like you're a bad person to advise on this then, Mr. Didn't Make Millions.
Yeah, you sort of learn from experience that you can't really predict some of these things. You just have to play it safe.
Yeah, you can.
As you would do in pretty much any market. So anyway, hope that's been interesting for you, giving you some insight.
You can't predict it perfectly, but by using really common sense, by doing things like, does this economic model make sense? Then you can do pretty well. And yeah, he is a bit boring. Like he he makes some good points and he's kind of interesting to listen to, but he's really like dull. He's really dull, I'm afraid. I don't think I could watch his videos on the regular. Who is the ISP indeed? We don't know. CompuServe. Yeah, like he makes some reasonable points and he's right about the overall crypto space, but Bitcoin is not part of that. I'm sorry, but Bitcoin is the backbone of cryptocurrencies. It's like saying it's honestly it's not too dissimilar to saying that during the dot-com bubble that, IP is going to die. Like or TCP IP is going to die. Or the web browser is going to die. Like Bitcoin is the original, it is the first, it is the one that is connected to everything else. If you want to buy Ripple, you have to buy Bitcoin or Ethereum first. If you want to buy Augur, you have to buy Bitcoin or Ethereum first. MU dropping hard. Ruh-roh. Battle stations, everyone. Well, we've been making money while it's dropping hard. It looks like it's coming from Dash. Ethereum's still going up as well, though. Bitcoin looks like it's recovered from that little dip. So I did some okay sales and some bad sales, but I'd rather have money on the side, in the bank, as it were. You disagree? You think BCH has got more value than Bitcoin? Why? Why has Bitcoin Cash got more value than Bitcoin? Why has Bitcoin Cash got more value than Bitcoin? I'm not going to kick him out. I want to hear his arguments. Why would I kick him out? Everyone's entitled to an opinion. I understand Ethereum entirely because it's very similar to Bitcoin in that it's used as the main trading pair with everything, and it's actually supporting half the cryptocurrencies that exist. BCH better than Bitcoin. Please tell me why. Technological side. Okay, what technology specifically? Is it the one line of code where they changed the number 1 to a number 8? Because that's basically the only real difference. Or is it the line of code where they get rid of SegWit? Let's say line of code, that's multiple lines of code. That's what I'm trying to get to here, is that like you seem to think that they've got a technological advantage, but I don't understand what technological advantage they've got. They've got a bigger block size, but honestly, if it genuinely turns out that Bitcoin needs bigger blocks, guess what? It will take them 20 minutes to turn it into the same block size as Bitcoin Cash. My Discord is listed below the stream. Do you think IOTA has more legs in it today? Today? I don't know, to be honest. I don't honestly watch cryptocurrencies on a daily basis. I'm more thinking of like altcoins in like more long-term view than that. Even like Bitcoin and stuff, I generally don't look at, oh, where's it going to end at the end of the day? It's more where it's going to end in a week or 2 weeks or a month or 6 months. Sometimes I do, but today's not one of those days. Where's he gone? He stopped replying. I wanted to hear his arguments. This makes me sad. MU earnings, probably about on target, I would imagine. I don't think there's anything that's likely to lead it to be over or under, really. So he got shriveled. He's gonna hate me now. He was giving some good content earlier. Jabalv. Has he actually left? How do I see like people in the chat? Does that button do it? Viewer list. Oh, there we go. Is he still here? Don't know. It's not letting me scroll. Cool. Thanks. Oh, cure. Damn it! You knew my plan. No, I genuinely want to hear his argument. Like, I just it would be really fun to hear. Yeah, Twitter's actually recovering, I think, at the moment. He's doing all right. He's still here, then I want to hear his arguments. If he's still here, I would like to hear his arguments. Okay, okay. Actually, I'm not convinced that it's really necessarily that anything is taking a drop today. It seems to me that the entire market is just down by like 1% or 2. Not the entire market. Intel's up. I believe AMD is up as well. Not as much as it was this morning though. It's kind of settled down. Incoming wall of text. Yeah, it's happening. It's happening. We know it's coming. All right. Well, while he writes that wall of text, I'm going to go to the toilet. I'll be back in 2 minutes. Hello. I'm back. eToro posted an apology video on Facebook. What? What? Did they post it on YouTube as well? Where's eToro? Look, there's our favourite guy. Well, there's me. eToro. Videos. No, they didn't. That makes me sad. I want to bring it up, but I don't want to display my Facebook to everyone. That's my problem that I'm having here. Let's see if I can do this and put it on a different screen and then maybe do something spectacular with it. Like close all of these. Oh dear, I've failed pretty badly there. There we go. Bring that back. I've just literally like alt-tabbed everything. Oh, no, now I've got to find everything again. That one. And I want my Discord back up. There we go. Don't need to go to Facebook. Do I not? Ooh, message from Yoni Ashia, CEO. Okay, let's have a look. I'm going to read this slower than all of you, by the way, so I'm not going to read it out loud because it will just be embarrassing for me. In fact, if any of you could, that would be great. My chat experience. I'm just skipping to the end, to the bit where he says, sorry. Happy holidays and a happy new year. May all your tickets be answered swiftly. I like Yoni. Yoni is such an awesome guy. I just want to throw that out there. I fucking love Yoni. Like, he created something awesome with eToro, and he's someone that really believes in like equality. I don't know how else to say it. Like, when you see him in like panels and stuff when he's talking about cryptocurrency, it's really quite cool, very inspirational. He loves using those words, that paradigm shift. He says that every time, every single time he says it. First solar, bye bye bye. What's leaked? I'm using Brave browser, which is basically me being a cryptocurrency hipster. Da, 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 da. Technical and customer service end. We are aware of delays you may experience, blah, 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 blah. People have been hired. That is true. I can vouch for that. There were a lot of people in their office. Servers have been added. Can vouch for that too, because they kept talking about how they invested a lot of money thinking it would last them for like the next 3 years, and then after 6 months they're like, well, I guess we need to upgrade again. So that was kind of amusing. Da, 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 da. Copy funds. Copy funds are actually okay. I don't like the crypto one still, but I do like a lot of the rest of them. Not all of them, but a lot of them. Look at his portfolio. Ooh, okay. Sounds like an invitation. Made some good money. Whoa, who's this attractive man that's now over 1% of Yoni Ash's portfolio? That's right, it's me. Yes, I'm higher than all the others. Haha, success. Oh, why has it stopped scrolling? What's going on? It broke for a second. I think that was my mouse being weird. Yeah. That was way less exciting than it probably would have been through the video. Not using Mist browser. Like, you really love him? I have plenty of First Solar, by the way, which is why I was kind of, I guess I could buy some more. Sub $70 again. This is like the calm before the storm. Next year, this is going a lot higher. A lot higher. I'm very confident in First Solar. And they're effectively, their next breakout is all-time highs. So they have had some pretty deep troughs, though. This is not really a time that people should be confident, but I've listened to their earnings calls and I'm confident. Oh, is the Bcash guy back? Where is he? Is he back? Look at the returns. 700%, 800% actually. What are we talking about? What's going on? Where's Bcash, man? Everyone's confused me. My accidents balance when I mouse over. Ruh-roh. Is BitConnect a scan? Yes. Yeah, Yoni has a lot of cryptocurrency in his portfolio. More than a popular investor is allowed to. What's massively improved, Chris? I'm missing like part of the conversation here. Firefox used to spin up my CPU with multiple pointless processes. Chrome just opens like all of the RAM. It's just like, guys, by the way, just going to use all of your RAM over here. Honestly, like, I'm pretty sure the browsers just take it in turns being dreadful. SQ, what's happened to that stock? Well, by the looks of it, it is going both up and down, which is interesting. Very, very interesting. As you can see, we open this chart, and there is quite clearly an up and down pattern taking place. You can see here, it goes down, and then here, it goes back up. But then here, down again. Mysterious. I'm not sure what to think. But I tell you what I do think. Probably, at some point, it will also go back up. So we're just going to hold on. Hold on, because we're at the support level. Like, look at the size of this support. It's mental. Mental. Horizontal. Boom. Look at that. I've drawn a line now, so everything makes sense. Oh, man, this is what they pay me for. This is what I get the big bucks for. No, but seriously, slightly more seriously, I myself literally called Square as being overvalued when it went over $40, and then continued to buy it because I'm greedy, because I thought other people were idiots and that they would continue to buy it. Instead, it has come back down to a sensible level, and it's probably going to be here for a while. And then at some point next year, it will continue to rally because they are more innovative than pretty much anyone else in their sector in the point of sale system. Point of sale sector. So, yeah, they're going to do fine. Let's play drawing lines. Okay. Look at that line. That's a line. And this here is a series of lines. And over here we have lines with colours. Colourful lines. $34.5 million assets under management. And this is how I act. And you guys trust me with it. As normally at about this point, where the stream deteriorates from the amazing conversations we had earlier, where we were discussing, how microeconomies can work on cryptocurrencies and how gold and fiat currencies and Bitcoin are actually valued, and some of the really cool trustless products that can be built using blockchain. And now we're talking about colourful lines on charts. And that is why I need more alcohol. No, that's why I need to just stop streaming when I get to this point normally. Because this always happens. After like 2.5 hours, I start going crazy. The chat starts going crazy. All of the sensible questions have already left the building, and people start asking me about my cat. And that happened like half an hour ago, and that should have been the sign, really. I do need an assistant. I need someone to just keep me in check. Oh, look, Intel's almost in profit. Way. Um, might be a good time to open my second Sony position. Might be. I would prefer it under $45, but I don't know if we're going to get there. So now might be a good time to open my second Sony position. So I think I will open a second Sony position at this point in time. Alt Cure, if you've beaten me to it, I'll be very unhappy. How often do you plan to withdraw money? How fast can I expect some dividends? I don't like to put out money from your copy because just possibly affect a profit? Question mark, question mark, question mark. Thanks. I very, 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 very rarely put out any money. So if you want to take profit, you should probably just take some profit. Is the actual truth of the situation. Have a good Christmas. Look after our money. You can trust in me. Yeah. Okay. Any big corporations working on creating their own cryptos? I'm sure lots of them are, but most of them are not public. Yeah, I know of some that are not public, but I can't tell you because it's not public. And if I told you, it would be public. So that would be bad. Do you keep investing more money into your eToro account? Or is there a reason why you just compound your growing equity naturally? I've been moving most of my new money into my second account because I need to hedge more against my actual cryptos, my real cryptos. My normal account, I just leave it alone because I think it's the fairest way of doing it. Because some people want me to automatically ask for new money to join because they want to invest more, and some people want to have dividends paid out to them, and yeah, I just think keeping it entirely natural is the best way of doing it for me. Trade did not open. Why? I don't know. Maybe because you don't have enough money copying me, but that was pretty unlikely because it was over 1% of my portfolio. What will the Dash market cap be at the end of next year? Um, let's see. Maybe 50 billion, somewhere around there. I copy you with 1,000. Then it should have opened. Probably send an email to your eToro account manager if it hasn't. Make sure that it hasn't. Maybe it was just like delayed by a little bit. At my second account, I am only copying traders, right? Wrong. I'm only copying traders now, but I will be also copying copy funds, and I will also just be buying some assets. The chat has gone too far, which means, Adam, that you have triggered the end of my stream because clearly I need to, first of all, go and fix my YouTube channel and make sure that I named that video correctly and add the tags to it because I rushed it because I wanted to start the stream. And second of all, I should probably go and upload this video over there and make a playlist for my Twitch streams as well. You did miss it earlier, Jahar22. I'm sorry. I'm not a big fan of it. Simple as that, I guess. That's the short version. That's the quick and easy, simplified answer. So are you doing some driving lessons over Christmas? Ready for the Tesla? Did you say Guy Martin versus Robot Car? What? No? I like Guy Martin. Drag race against a Tesla. What? That's amazing. I need to see that. So this cat of yours. Okay, that's definitely get lost, Jay. Wow. You guys are rude. You guys are nasty. Cool. Thanks for watching, everyone. I will not be streaming again until after Christmas, so sorry. I'll still be putting out my weekly update video, hopefully, on Monday next week or Tuesday. And yeah, probably won't be streaming. I might stream some games or something, because yeah, it's just lots of like so much socializing going on between like my girlfriend's family, my family, my housemate, like a bunch of my girlfriend's friends, all the rest of it. Oh, thanks for the cheer. There's a Christmas tree. That's amazing. Look at that Christmas tree go. It's like a bouncing Christmas tree. Um, but yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys after Christmas. I think the 29th is when I'm streaming again. Let me just check the calendar. Yes, 29th is when I'll be streaming again. Because Tuesday would be the day after Christmas, and that's not going to happen because I'm not even at home. So, cool. I will see you all next time. Bye, everyone. Join the Discord if you haven't. Where's the stop streaming button? Found it.